Hello everyone, hope you're all having a wonderful day, and today guys we're going to be going over my Corrosive Blaster build for Remnant 2. I called it the Corrosive Blaster because we're going to be using shotguns and blasting the enemies in the face with corrosive damage.
Excellent.
Now this build is going to consist of the Ritualist and the Challenger classes. So for the Ritualist spam, I've kind of gone like back to back with Ritualist builds, but it's just a really fun class to play. What can I say? And it fits with almost every single other class in the game in some way or another. Who doesn't love that? Ritualist is top tier in my opinion. So what makes this build so good? Well, as always, we have amazing damage. I mean, it wouldn't be an apocalypse build without damage, right? We're able to apply 5 corrosive dots on the target at once, which is really good, which is just going to help us continuously do damage when we're on the move or if you're just trying to dodge mechanics. We're never really losing DPS as long as you have those corrosive stacks on the target. We can also get some nice free bulwark stacks, which is going to help with our survivability, courtesy of one of the Challenger's passives that it does have available. Now this build has some really good diversity. You can almost use whatever weapon you want, mainly because the mutators are so OP for this particular build. Now that we're done with the positive stuff, it's time for some negative stuff. One big issue with this build, if you're not someone that likes sitting up close and personal, basically sniffing the enemy, this probably isn't going to be the build for you. Besides the nano swarms and our Krell we don't really have a lot of range. I mean, even the Krell and the nano swarms from the Nebula is a bit of a stretch, but because we are using the shotgun and the Nebula, we don't have a lot of long range available to us, but that's not so much of an issue. You can still use your shotgun at range. In fact, I still like using my shotgun like a sniper, mainly because we're able to apply those corrosive dots on the target, and as soon as you get 3 or 4 corrosive dots on target, they're just going to start cooking, they're just going to melt away, and they're just not going to be an issue anymore. So our range is a little bit on the weaker side, it's kind of doo-doo, but with the Krell and the nano swarm, it really isn't that bad, and once you get used to the shotgun applying dots all the time, it kind of becomes a long-range weapon anyway. Alright, now that we got all the boring intro stuff out of the way, it's time for the gear and the traits. Now, of course, we are using Ritualist and we are using Challenger. I feel like these classes pair up insanely well together. You probably see a lot of Ritualist and Challenger builds. It definitely isn't the first one. Now, for the Ritualist skill, we are using Miasma, arguably the strongest Ritualist skill available. This is going to let us apply every single negative dot to the target, and they're just going to start ticking for a shit ton of damage. It's on a really low cooldown, so you can kind of get this back pretty quickly. And Miasma is also going to help us get a nice damage bonus from our necklace. Now, for the Challenger skill, I am using Rampage. I am a massive enjoyer of Rampage. I think it's a really fun skill once you get the hang of it. It works really well with shotgun because we want more fire rate, we want more reload speed, you know, because shotgun doesn't have a lot of bullets in the magazine, so we want to be able to reload faster. Now the main reason I did take Challenger over like Gunslinger or maybe even Hunter is because Challenger has a global damage increase with its passive. We get 35% increase to all damage as long as we're within 10 meters of the enemy. That's what I was saying before, if you don't like playing close up and personal, this definitely isn't going to be the build for you. Now the other thing to note about Rampage, when you use a shotgun, which I think is the best way to use Rampage by the way, you can build up these stacks insanely quick. Sometimes you shoot 3 enemies, boom, you've got all 10 stacks of Rampage. You're actually rampaging now. You've got double all the bonuses. You get nice 25% increase to range damage, which is really good for a shotgun, which already hits like a truck. Now, you could switch out the Challenger skill for Juggernaut. Juggernaut is good because you're going to gain 3 stacks of Bulwark. You're going to get movement speed. You're also going to get increase to melee damage, which isn't really too bad for this build. We do still use the Krell quite frequently, but I'm the shotgun guy. I like using the guns more than the melee weapon, so Rampage just fits my playstyle just a little bit better. It is also worthy to note that Ritualist and Challenger have some pretty decent survivability. Whenever we use a skill around enemies, they're just going to be dealing less damage, and if those enemies are also affected by a status effect, they're also going to be doing less damage. So we can get up to a 15% damage reduction, basically from Terrify and also the Intimidating Presence. Now for the gear, wear whatever you want. We do have 10 points in strong back, so you've got a lot of options with your actual armor. I've just put the Zealot Tad on, the Void Capris, the Leto Mark II legging, and also the Void Wraps, mainly because it just looks cool. that's basically why it also provides decent defense. We have pretty decent armor. We're also getting 50.3% damage reduction. Huge. For the relic, I do switch between the rune heart and also the shielded heart. Obviously the shielded heart's going to provide a hell of a lot more defense, but the rune heart does work pretty well if you just want to continuously get your mods back all the time, which we do kind of want our mods all the time with this build. And then for the upgrades I put into the heart, I have got increase to elemental damage, increase to range crit damage. This one can be switched out for like range damage or range crit chant, whatever you prefer. They all kind of deal about the same amount of damage. Just the range crit damage, I just like it better because you see bigger numbers when you hit people in the head with shotgun. And then also 10% skill cooldown, so we can get miasma and also rampage back quicker. Now moving on over to the weapons, and the first one we have is the Ford Scattergun. Now I just want to fanboy a little bit here before we get into this, but holy crap, man. The shotguns in Remnant 2 feel so good. So freaking good. It has been too long, far too long, since I played a game where the shotguns actually feel like shotguns. Like, you got the massive kickback, they sound like a shotgun in Remnant 2, you got the boo, boo, boo. Like, I want a meaty shotgun, and Remnant 2 delivers on that on all levels. Well, enough of me fanboying, let's actually get back into the build. But yes, I do enjoy using shotguns a lot inside of Remnant 2. So with the Ford Scattergun, I have kicked it out with the Corrosive round modifier. This is going to give us an extra 15% crit chance, which is kind of nice because when we crit, we also apply another corrosive stat because of feated wounds. And then obviously feated wounds is going to increase our critical chance of this weapon by 5% per unique status effect on the target. Miasma is going to help with that a lot. So as soon as you get miasma out and all the enemies are being affected with status effect, if they haven't died yet, the Ford Scattergun is going to be hitting really hard because that increased critical strike chance. Now, maybe you're not like me, you don't enjoy using the shotgun. That's okay. You can pretty much use whatever weapon you want. So this is the most optimal setup. Using corrosive round to get more crit, you're going to be applying a corrosive dot. When you crit, you're going to be applying another corrosive dot because of feated wounds. Also, because we're using red ring of death, you're going to have another corrosive dot because of the red ring of death. So you can have up to 3 corrosive dots from one shot of the Ford Scattergun. But again, you can use this on whatever weapon you want. Just put the corrosive rounds on and the feated wounds on. You could use like pulse rifle, Chicago typewriter, all those kind of weapons are definitely going to fit into this build. For the melee weapon, we are using the Krell Axe again. The Krell Axe is just such a good melee weapon because it has range and because it's able to apply shock and overload, which is very strong. And now on top of that, we are using the Tainted Blade Mutator, which again is a must for any melee weapon that you want to use with this build. Whenever we use a charge melee attack, it's going to apply the corrosive status effect. So now we have pretty much 4 stacks of corrosive from our melee, from the shotgun, and also the red ring of death, all synergizing together. And then for the last weapon, we are using the Nebula. I feel like the Nebula is kind of a must as well for this build, mainly because we get another corrosive stack out when you actually use the kind of Nebula weapon itself. The Nano Swarms do not apply a corrosive effect. They're also going to help us stop getting overwhelmed by so many mobs because they'll just fly around and deal with all the enemies that you're maybe not looking at. I have put the Harmonizer Mutator on here. There might be a better one to put on here. I'm not sure, maybe you guys can let me know. The main reason I put Harmonizer on here is just to give Nano Swarm more damage and also generate mod power for the Ford Scattergun so we can get corrosive rounds back faster. Now moving on over to the jewelry guys, for the amulet we do have Chains of Amplification. This increases all our damage to targets suffering from a status effect by 20%. We're using a lot of corrosive status effects, so there's not too many chances where the enemy won't have a status effect on them. So we're pretty much always going to have this 20% increase up 100% of the time. A really good opener is to use the Krell Axe because it has got a bit more range and it's guaranteed to apply 2 status effects. And then you're going to get that increased damage for Chains of Amplification. And then now you can use the shotgun and get your Nano Swarms out, and they're going to be doing that increased damage. For the first ring, I've got Band of the Fanatic. This is going to increase our status effect by 25%, but also reduce the duration by 65%. You probably could switch this out for maybe just Shadow of Misery if you find that your corrosive stacks are falling off a little bit too quick from the target. Next ring I've already kind of spoken about. It's pretty self-explanatory. We have the Red Ring of Death. This is just going to duplicate the last negative status effect that we put on the target. Since we're always using corrosive, it's always going to dupe that corrosive status effect for us. Now for the next ring, we are using the Offering Stone. Now you're probably wondering how the hell the Offering Stone works in this build. Well, the Nebula's Nano Swarm, for some weird reason, when they start attacking the enemies, it does start proccing Offering Stones. Because there's so many like nano bots in the swarm, they build up the Offering Stones stacks insanely quickly. Like almost instantly they'll have the 15 stacks, and then all you have to do is kill an enemy and you extend the duration. And so that's how we're using Offering Stone to shoot your nano swarms out. They're going to get this going for you, and then your shotgun's going to be doing 15% increased damage. Your nano swarm's going to be dealing 15% increased damage. Our status effect's going to be dealing 15% increased damage. Overall, a very, very solid ring for this build. And then last but not least, bet you didn't see this one coming, the Stone of Malevolence. This is going to be how we get our mod power back quicker, so we can use more nano swarm, more corrosive rounds. Very, very solid ring, probably arguably one of the strongest rings in the game. Now moving on over to the traits, guys, I have got 8 points into ammo reserve. I have got 8 points into Flashcaster. This is definitely going to help a lot better to get the nano swarms out quicker. That mod does take a while to use. You're just sitting there like, ugh, and then they shoot out. It's super painful how slow that mod actually is. Flashcast is going to help, plus it's going to help with you going in and out of rampage faster. Maxed out Fortify, more armor effectiveness. I've got 5 points into Tri-Age. Maxed out Vigor. I've got 8 points into Endurance, 3 points into Spirit. I've maxed out Expertise, maxed out Bark Skin, 5 points into Handling. I'd highly recommend this, otherwise you're going to have a pretty bad time using the shotgun. And then last but not least, maxing out the Siphoner trait, which is just going to give us 3% base damage as lifesteal. This is going to be our main source of like healing besides the Rune Heart. Alrighty guys, got another boss kill for you. We're going to be taking on the Abomination. We're just going to go ahead and use Miasma. He's not going to get affected by it, because why the hell would he care about Miasma? I don't know why that doesn't work. But we are going to just wait till we get some space. We're going to get our nano swarms out. We're going to pop our mod on our shotgun, and we're going to go absolutely ham on those metal casings that are surrounding his body. So now that we've knocked off those metal casings, I'm going to try and focus on those bombs that he's got stuck in him. Because when we destroy those bombs, he is going to leave a massive weak spot, and now we're just going to absolutely friggin' unload big damage on his big goopy holes. I'm just going to get some more nano swarms out here. I'm going to shoot the bombs to stop him from rolling around and throwing stuff everywhere, because that's really annoying. There you go, I use Miasma again. He doesn't give a shit. I don't know why that's not working. I'm going to focus again on the bombs so we can get another weak spot, so we can do some more big damage. There's another big goopy hole. Let me put some bullets in there, sir. I'm trying to focus on the other one. Really, what I should be doing here as well is going up with the Nebula and also applying another stack of corrosion, since Miasma is fucking me over. But I wasn't doing that. I completely forgot that that's what I should be doing. So if you do get a chance to use the Nebula spray, the corrosive spray, don't be afraid to use it, because you will get that extra stack of corrosion that way. The nano swarm will not apply a stack of corrosion. Alright, he's only got a little bit of health left now. We're just going to keep focusing on those goopy holes. I forgot to dodge there because in my brain I thought I was just going to kill him with those shotgun shots. Shoot the grenades, and yeah, we just finish off one more shotgun shot. And there we go. Just that simple. I feel like that was a pretty decent Abomination kill. It could have been a little bit quicker if I had gotten the extra stack of corrosion out there, because Miasma was screwing me in my ass. But still, I feel like that is a pretty decent kill. Abomination for me can definitely be a big old cocksucker. And that is basically it, guys. Hopefully this video did help you out. Hopefully you did enjoy the build. I really do find myself always coming back to this build just because I love the aesthetic of it. I don't know. I've got this weird hard-on for like corrosive, acid, poison mechanic inside of games. I don't know why, I just really enjoy them. So as much as I like some of the other builds that I've showcased on this channel, this Corrosive Blaster build just has a special place in my heart. It just does. I'm hoping to maybe have one more build. I think I've got one more build for you guys, and then I'm really just waiting for that patch to come out. There's meant to be a patch coming out soon with a whole bunch of balance changes, and maybe also adding in some new corrupted weapons, word on the grapevine. Which will then probably open up a lot of potential for some new builds, and then we'll be heading into maybe the next DLC. So very excited to maybe try and get one more build out for you guys, and also very excited to see where the content for Remnant 2 actually goes in 2024. Appreciate all the love and support as always, guys, and until next time, stay safe, peace out.